Renegades' defensive line is outweighed by the offensive line of NEO by about 35 pounds, and I think that's part of the reason that score is 41-14 NEO.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. You take that weight times velocity and mass, and it equals up to something that I never learned.
And you need a physics major. First and 10 from the 30. Brent Paul with the pass. Great one-handed catch by Aaron McDonald of Bakersfield High School. Let's get down to Paul, or up to Paul, or around to Paul.
All right, go Gades. I'm one of the few Hardy fans still left up here, as you can see.
That's because we're paying you, Paul.
Up here in the Bob Uecker seats, I still think the Gades can get it back. And I have one thing to say while I'm up here. He missed the tag. He missed the tag.
We're going to put him on the front row.
He belongs right where he is, I think. 2nd and 7, Renegades. That was a great one-handed catch by Aaron McDonald. 4:54 left in our ball game. Oh, that hurt from up here. That hurt from up here.
We could hear and feel that one.
Scott Althofer, a linebacker out of Wagner, Oklahoma, was all over the Renegade ball carrier. Hey, Corey Grant was also in on the play.
Hey, Dennis, I just got some information from Mr. Patton up here, and let me ask you a question. They brought in the goalpost at college level. Did they bring him in on the junior college level as well?
You make the call. The answer is no. And the reason why?
And the reason is, Mr. Patton.
Well, the reason is, in the state of California, a lot of community colleges play on high school fields. So rather than carry around additional goalposts this year and next year, they're leaving it as is, 23 feet 4 inches.
So it doesn't move in like the rest of
Not the
college
rest of the
football.
NC2A, no.
3rd and 7 for the Renegades. Brent Paul looking deep. He has a man. That was a beautiful pass-play combination to Tony Morgan, the speedster from Seattle, Washington.
It was obvious dropping back to throw the football. He was looking that way, and that's where he was going to throw the football. As we look at here again, you can see him dropping back. He continues to stay at the left, and look, it's a timing pattern, and he sees that he's got his man beat by a couple steps, and that's all that Brent Paul needs to complete that pass.
Tonio has 2 catches for 54 yards, and I think Bakersfield College fans will enjoy watching him this season. Greg Tremble was in on the play. Getting back to the field goal thing, you know, John Baker, the kicker for BC from Foothill, says he wishes they would move it in because, you know, he wants to go to a 4-year school, and now he's not going to have the practice of kicking that. 1st and 10. Brent Paul overthrowing his receiver. You know, it's funny, he threw just a beautiful pass a minute ago, and that one not as well thrown.
Well, that's a point well taken on these kickers. I've read a lot of stories and heard recently on TV and radio especially that a lot of the kickers that are at junior colleges are practicing basically with a reduced goalpost, even smaller than the NFL, because their goal is to get to the NFL, and if they can hit 30, 40, 50 yarders with some accuracy with reduced goalposts, and they're going to have that advantage when they do get into, you know, to Division I schools or the NFL.
Brent Paul, we saw the numbers, having a tough night. 2nd and 10 for the Renegades. Ball on the 26-yard line of Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. Brent Paul going to the air once again. He has his target. It is Steve Paul, his twin brother, out of Wasco.
What a present from his brother. That was a triple kaboom, as they say. He caught that ball and got hit by 3 different sides by 3 different defenders, and you can see he's a little leg weary, and he's wondering whether he wants to go out again.
You know, the funny thing is, you say, how do you tell these two apart? Well, Brent Paul's the smaller of the two. Steve Paul is a tight end.
These NEO defenders came to play. That was just a great execution defensively, and
5 yards.
got, you know, the ball's up there.
2nd down.
Ball's up there, he catches the football, and he knows he's going to get hit, but by 3 of them at the same time, that's kind of tough.
And not only that, but to make matters worse, it's coming back because of a motion penalty. You know, Steve Paul is 6'3", 205. Brent Paul is 6'1", 175, but they're twins.
Figure that one out.
2nd and 15. I'd rather not think about it. 31-yard line.
His brother wears little taller cleats, I think.
Brent Paul back to pass. Looking, he has a man. You know, Brent has had problems on that throwing right, that pass right there in the flat. He's had men open, and he continually overthrows them.
Well, it's, you know, a situation like that, you can't really blame the quarterback. It might be the wide receiver's fault. He might be running the incorrect pattern. He might not be in the correct position. You know, you don't know until you ask him after the game.
3rd and 15 the Renegades are facing. They trail in this ball game 41-14, 3 minutes, 25 seconds left in our ball game. Be nice to see Bakersfield punch one more into the end zone.
Well, I think they'd like to have that because they can take that and use it and apply it for next week.
Again, as we said, they still got a conference season to play. Third down play. Here comes the blitz. Brent Paul hangs in there. He hung in there nicely, threw a nice ball.
Okay, tell me, how good a team is this NEO team? You guys beat Coffeyville. You lost last week to Kilgore. Big win tonight. How good are you guys?
Well, I say we're pretty good. We're like probably one of the best in the nation. And we're sort of getting off to a slow start because after we beat Coffeyville, we, Coffeyville were the defending national champions.
Hey, Paul,
So let up, huh?
Yeah, and we let up in Kilgore, and Kilgore just embarrassed us.
Real quickly, how would you compare BC to the two teams you played earlier in the year?
Well, I couldn't compare them to Kilgore because Kilgore, Texas is real tough in football. But Coffeyville, they're much better than Coffeyville.
Paul, ask him about the BC defensive line.
How about the BC defensive line? Did they cause you much problem tonight?
Not really. It was the linebackers. Every time I got up in the hole, they were on my legs and my feet.
Well, just a great night for Lamar Smith. Enjoy your vacation in Bakersfield and get over that cold. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. While we were talking, Scott Althofer stopped the Bakersfield College charge. It'll be the Northeast Oklahoma A&M Golden Norseman ball. 1st and 10. 41-14 is our score. Ball on the 42-yard line of NEO. So
you know, Dennis, we got to kind of apologize for the slip of tongue down there. It's really hard when you're playing in a game and you're involved in it emotionally, you're sky high, to do an interview.
Yeah.
And you often forget discretion is the best way to go. But it wasn't. I don't think
it was nice of him to take time during the ball game too,
yeah.
and have a few words with us.
He made a very good point, which something we've been talking about all night, is the defensive line has not been that effective. It's been the linebackers, and he mentioned that.
BC linebackers doing a nice job, and I think the coaches expected the linebackers to do it, but I don't think you can come into a game with 4 good linebackers and 4 good defensive backs and expect to get the job done.
No, you need 11.
And you know what makes it so glaring, too, is that BC has had such marvelous defensive linemen in the last couple of years. Now we've got the backup quarterback, and he's rambling. It's Volta Mitchell out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, 6'2", 210 sophomore, and he has a big gain for the Gades. It was Michael Williams, the defensive back out of Oceanside, making the stop, and there's Volta, 3 carries for 16 yards.
You know, this, I'm sure a lot of fans, as well as the coaching staff, miss names like John Kirksey and some of the other key defensive linemen that they've had the last 2 years.
NEO in Gade territory on the 46-yard line. Up the gut, and it goes nowhere. And the Bakersfield defensive line charge still playing with some heart. Number 98 was in on the play. That's Chris Flanagan of West, and by Brady Beck, and Luis Cervantes was in on the play.
One of the toughest things there is to teach a defensive lineman is, after you explode off the football and you get into your offensive lineman, is to create some type of separation. And the only way you do that is to use your hands and grab some of that jersey and get them off you. And the problem they're having, I think, is getting rid of the blockers.
2nd and 6, ball on the 42 of the Renegades. And it's Tony Grant going wide left. Tony Grant finding some room. A trio of Renegades brings him down, led by number 48, Keith Rivera of Highland, and by Philip Romero, an East High School player, another one of those offensive linemen converted to defense. We have a Bakersfield College player hurt on the field, and this is the worst time that you want to be getting injuries. That's one of the things you really want to avoid at this point.
It's the worst time to get one. I guess there's never a good time to get one. But this is the time you see it a lot of times, because players get lackadaisical. They're waiting for the gun to sound. They're standing around more than they're used to doing, and this is a time where somebody hits you low or you're just not expecting it. And so the main thing they got to do is continue their intensity until the gun sounds.
You know what a difference a year makes. A year ago, Bakersfield College was leading Navarro of Texas. They put 40 points on the board. In fact, 44. They beat Navarro 44-8. Things are vastly different this time around. There's Carl Bowser, looking dejected, but really he shouldn't. He's done a good job through the years with Bakersfield College. Let's go down to Paul Swearingen.
Dennis, I'm with James Reese. He's the Vice President of Student Services at Northeastern Oklahoma. He's the guy that brought the mushrooms that were put up against the Bakersfield pistachios. Do you like pistachios?
Well, absolutely.
Well, it looks like you're going to be taking a whole bunch of them back with you to Miami.
That'll be great. That'll be great.
And Paul, ask him, what is a Miami mushroom?
Mushrooms, too.
Hey, Dennis wants to know what is a Miami mushroom?
Well, it's just like any other kind. It's white and looks like a mushroom.
How come it's called Miami and not Miami?
I guess from an Indian tribe that call themselves Miami.
Well, you guys enjoy the pistachios and enjoy your stay here in Bakersfield and the trip back to NEO.
Home now.
All right, back to you guys.
Okay, Tony Grant just carried the ball, but there's another penalty marker on the play. And, you know, that's another thing you hate to see at this stage of the game. That we got a minute 52 left. It's 41-14, and you just hate to see the officials' flags. Mike Patton, can't you guys not throw flags, please?
Personal foul.
Personal foul against.
Personal foul. Here, both players are ejected.
Uh-oh. Frustrations a bit. Two players.
Mike, you might talk about that. Why do players get ejected right now, and why are the flags being flown this late in the ballgame?
Okay, I'm listening to you guys talk about how it's on the hand, so on and so forth. We as officials have to continue to control the game until it's over. The last thing we want right now is a bench-clearing brawl. If players get out of line like they did there, you penalize them for personal fouls and get rid of them, and it lets the rest of the players know we're still running the show till the game's over.
2nd down and 7. Ball on the 30 for Northeastern Oklahoma. The handoff up the middle. It is Grant again. Tony Grant, the tailback. He's got to be approaching some yards. We've got a fumble, but let's wait and see what the officials say. They have given the ball to the Renegades. And it looks like it is Gary Stokes, a defensive back out of East High School, coming up with the ball. 1st and 10 Renegades, ball at the 23. You know, NEO has put the ball on the ground a couple times tonight, but they really haven't had to pay the ultimate price.
You know, Mike, I never realized that. I've always seen where players get ejected towards the end of the football game, but I didn't realize it was to let the players know that the officials are still in charge, because this late in the game, you got 22 out there versus how many referees. They could really get out of hand.
Six officials, you're right. It really could get out of hand.
1st and 10 Renegades, ball on the 23. Aaron Lair, the East High School graduate, backup quarterback, in for the Gates, and he fires a strike out in the flat. Completed to Ryan Valencia, a receiver from Foothill. So Carl Bowser and the Bakersfield College offense going to look at some fresh faces and some new players. Aaron Lair, you see the numbers on him, went to East Bakersfield under Dave Lonsinger, and Dave Lonsinger, a fine quarterback coach here among high schools. He stresses the passing game, so you know Aaron Lair can put the ball in the air. 2nd and 3 for BC, and Aaron Lair brings the team to the line. Minute left in the game.
Hey, Dennis.
Whoa, well, that was a nice play with a lot of guys in his face. Aaron Lair gets it off and completes it again to Ryan Valencia out of Foothill, and that's a 1st down.
Hey, Dennis, another trivia question. You're 0 for 1. I gave you some personality sheets earlier today. What is the nickname for Lair? What's his nickname?
Air Lair.
You done
so
good.
1 for 1.
1 for 1.
500. The Bakersfield Renegades now have the ball in 37, and that was Billy Williams, very excited. And that's a good football team, Doug, no doubt about it.
Yep, they've got their
Air Lair to the air again, and you can't fault him for that incompletion. He tried for Ryan Valencia again, and Ryan was running before he had the football. We've got 33 seconds left in the ball game. It's 41-14 BC.
Yeah, they've definitely got the right stuff, Dennis. It's obvious tonight they have that.
This has been all NEO's game. You know, Bakersfield is going to see better nights, though, I am sure.
Yeah, the first game of any season is usually not an indication of what it's going to be like. Unless you play for Stanford, right?
2nd and 10. Aaron Lair back to pass again, and he throws a nice ball, but that one went right into the waiting arms. Uh-oh, you got to tackle him, guys. Neil Flowers is going to take it in for a touchdown. He's out of Wynwood, Oklahoma, another Oklahoma boy. Aaron had a nice spiral on that, but it unfortunately went right into the arms of Neil Flowers, who returns it 52 yards for a touchdown. We've got another flag on the play, a little extracurricular activity, however. Neil Flowers, free safety. He's a freshman, 6'3", 200 pounds, as we said, out of Wynwood, Oklahoma. 57-yard return and another touchdown for the Golden Norsemen. Long night for BC, Douglas.
Yeah, long night, and just basically a freshman mistake there. You're anxious to get in front of mom and pop and throw the football, but unfortunately you forget to look for defenders.
And he made a few nice plays, as did...
It's a dead ball. It's a procedure penalty here.
A procedure penalty against A&M.
Well, the points are already on the board, so Mike Patton, we've got you. What's this mean to us? It was a touchdown?
It was a touchdown, and After the ball was marked, I'm assuming, I didn't see it, they must have encroached or done something for the dead ball false start, illegal procedure.
So we're going to try to kick the extra point, which now becomes a 25-yard kick. There are 17 seconds left in the game. The kick is up. The kick is good, and it is now 48-14.
Dennis, you got to appreciate the honesty of an official saying he didn't see it. Does that mean I can protest some of my high school games now?
No, Doug, I saw everything you did in high school.
I want to say not seeing something never stopped you before. Uh-oh, the old Gatorade shower for Mike Lloyd.
I thought Coach Parcells was working in the booth. I didn't think he was roaming the sidelines of NEO.
Well, he certainly deserves that drenching. He brought a quality club into Bakersfield from Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. This has got to be a difficult situation to come into Bakersfield and play in front of the Renegades fan on the Renegade Stadium. But, boy, it's been all NEO tonight. You see the numbers right there.
Well, it was nice to get a smile from Coach Lloyd. I saw earlier when they got off the plane, he wasn't smiling. He wasn't smiling at halftime, and now with 7 seconds or 17, he wasn't smiling. So a good dunk of water or Gatorade will always bring a smile to your face.
Well, I think when you become head coach, they take your ability to smile away.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. It's maybe it's the pressure. 48-14.
This is an unusual lineman here. It looks like they're going to do an onside kick, and I don't know why, but they've got everybody on the left side of the kicker except one safety man.
They are not doing an onside kick here, are they? They just don't want to. Well,
I don't understand that. I guess they're just trying to keep it out of the hands of David Dunn would be the only reasoning there.
well, let's paint a worst case scenario for you. There's 17 seconds left. If David Dunn gets the ball and runs it back for a touchdown, so it's 48-21 instead of 48-14.
Yeah,
I think they should kick the ball up.
Usually in a case like that, you want to get a squib kick and eat up as much time as you can to get the game over with. But that was unusual.
What was the call, Mike Patton, Kern County official?
Well, kicking the ball out of bounds is an illegal procedure, but in college they have two choices. They can kick it over, or they can take the ball at the 35-yard line this year.
I think Carl Bowser was just pointing take the ball or to either back them up and make them kick. I think he's going to just take the ball.
Dead ball. Procedure. Free kick kicked out of bounds. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
Well,
You know, and the problem with that, Dennis, is that it brought you 5 yards further back, and it didn't take not even a second off the clock.
I don't understand why they're even doing anything with this kick. Just kick the ball. This one's over.
Dennis, here's a situation. If he pooches that kick again like that, and they can run down and catch it and not interfere, that would be their ball.
And boy, that's just what we need here, NEO to have the ball again. You know, because this game is still in question, fellas. We've got 17 seconds left. 48-14 is the score.
Yeah, they need to get the ball back.
Is it me, or is there like no need to be doing this? Maybe it's me. A lot of people tell me it's me. We've got Jason Higbee out of Shafter, running back. Running it back. No. 35-yard line of the Renegades. Bakersfield College has a 1st and 10. There are 9 seconds left in our ball game. 48-14 is the score. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M with the lead. Doug, what more is there to say? When you say it's 48-14, we've got 9 seconds left.
Well, they could turn off these sun lamps up here. I got bugs and about 18 degrees higher body heat here.
You got a nice tan going over there. Aaron Lair, but he goes on the ground this time. To number 36, Jason Higbee, the freshman out of Shafter.
Well, let it run out, Dennis.
We'll let the clock roll out. 48-14 is our final score, ladies and gentlemen. The Northeastern Oklahoma A&M Golden Norsemen have defeated Bakersfield College in a big, big way. And the two teams will now shake hands, and you're looking at what has to be a disappointed Coach Carl Bowser.
Well, I don't know, but disappointment as much as frustration. You know, he came to this thing with pretty high hopes, but he can't be disappointed, I don't think, in the effort of his players, but more along the lines of frustration.
We'll be back with some post-game comments in just a minute. Northeastern Oklahoma wins the ball game tonight, 48-14. Oklahoma A&M 48, Bakersfield College Renegades 14. Doug, some closing thoughts?
Well, it's time to go into another week and regroup and look at these films, and then you got to just kind of throw them away. because you don't want to dwell on this too long, be it positive or negative. You just got to go back to the chalkboard and execute things in practice and work on the things that you did wrong and get your momentum back, because BC's a good football team, so don't let this be any indication of that.
I don't think it's necessarily an embarrassment to lose to a team like an NEO. They are like a young Division I team. Most of their players that you saw tonight are going on to Division I schools, and you know what? Athletically, they are Division I players. Academically, they're not, but athletically, they are.
Yep.
So really, that was a good football team, and there's really no, I mean, these things happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true, Dennis. Well, listen, I enjoyed working with you. I appreciate the opportunity you give me, and we'll say goodnight.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. 48-14 final score. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M avenges that 53 Junior Rose Bowl loss. From Memorial Stadium, I'm Dennis Owens for Doug Rogers and Paul Swearingen. Good night.